Thank you, you guys. This is Brandy, and we're back for episode 3. This one's going to be a little bit harder to talk about because of the nature of this episode. I will give a warning. Um, I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me in how I handle and deal with my own truth, and that's fine. I know that I'm going to have people that's going to be upset with me by some of the stuff I reveal in these episodes. And I want to just say that I'm not telling anyone else's story but my own. What I viewed from my own eyes, what I seen, what I felt, what I smelled, what I tasted, everything is from my own perspective. And you may have a different opinion, and that's fine. But I lived this, and this is my truth. After we got back with my dad, from time to time, he would take us to his sister in law's house, which would be his brother's wife, and his brother's house. Um, and my cousins lived there, and I was really close with my cousins, at least with, you know, if you know me, you know who my cousin is. But I call her my sister. She was always there for me for as long as I can remember, and has always supported me even to this day. Her kids have grown up with my kids. We just became a unit family of our own. So I try to be respectful of things that I say, that I'm going to be saying about a loved one that she's related to. And I don't want to make anyone upset, but honestly, also, no one had to live what I had to live through from the abuse that I suffered from this person. They know who they are. I'm not going to give them any more time of my life, energy, or anything because I was in therapy for a long time and still in therapy for some of the stuff that they have done and did to me. Um, but we will move forward. After my dad got us back from my mother, she's going through the courts at this point because there's nothing much she can do. We ended up getting sent back to my uncle and aunts. And at this time, they were living off of Marigo, which was in Preston Highway. That's where I remember a lot of the abuse happening to me. I don't think a lot of abuse happened in the beginning when they lived on Shelby Street, because before St. Vincent de Paul, or in the middle of it, we went and lived with them for a little bit on Shelby Street. But it wasn't as bad. I mean, I noticed things, I was treated certain ways, but I just figured there were so many kids in the house, it was always something, you know. She had 4 kids of her own, and then dealing with, you know, 2 more kids coming couldn't have been easy by no means, but still, it doesn't excuse the way that I was treated, and I want to emphasize that. Um, there, it was completely a different dynamic because I wasn't treated properly there. My brother was. He was treated very well there. I mean, it wasn't as well as you would think, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as what I was getting from her. I don't know if it's because she just didn't like me or if she just didn't like my mother, or I don't know what it was, but this woman, if I could have an arch enemy as a child, she would have been mine. She would have been mine. And she still is to this day for some reason. Just loathes me. Like, cannot stand me. No matter what I do. And I have done everything to try to mend and be a nice person and forgive and forget and do all that shit. I've stopped doing that now. I've stopped trying to get her to accept me. I've stopped trying to get her to love me. Those are things she should have done back then as being an adult. She should have done those things. She did not. And so this is why she's being talked about in this episode. And I'm not singling anybody out and trying to place blame, but this was such a big part, it had to be shared. So if I upset anybody, that's not my intention. When we got there, immediately the control and manipulation, treatment towards me, the emotional abuse was enough. It would be small little things like she would give all the other kids things and I would get a small amount just to make me feel not good enough. She would do certain things for the kids, everybody but me. It's like she would single me out to try to embarrass me, belittle me, beat me. I mean, whatever she had to do at that point, whatever angry or whatever was pissing her off, I got the brunt of it. So it doesn't matter what it was, that's the truth. And everybody knows that was there. They know. And it's fine about, the stuff that went on. I'm learning how to get over it. But, when we went there, we didn't have a place to sleep. At the first house we did, the very first time we went over there. But the second time when we went to the Marigo house, me and my brother slept in a laundry room on top of their dirty clothes. And I know I tell this story a lot in my family setting because it's funny. Like, it's not funny, but that's how I deal with something so traumatic. But, like, I remember being in there sleeping at night. Like, it was a fucking normal thing. My brother had a cot over to the left. I slept on dirty clothes. There were times when the pile of clothes would be high, and there'd be times when there was no clothes on the floor, and I would have to lay on the floor in a utility room. I don't remember a blanket. There could have been one. I don't know small details like that because I think I just had so much traumatic shit going on there. Nobody ever. I don't remember nobody ever being around to stop. I remember playing with my cousin. I remember her and me being really close. I remember being able to, tell her everything and she would never go back and tell on me. We were just mischievous little kids because I was acting out. Like, I was being treated the way I was being treated and I couldn't take it. So, at this point, I was just so tired of getting my ass whooped for no reason. I just wanted my mom and dad. I wanted somebody. I needed somebody. But nobody was there. I don't think people understand how bad it is in a situation when I want you to picture yourself being away from your mother and father and the person who's your caretaker who's supposed to love you and at least tell you positive things and at least tell you things of great things, but you're getting abused mentally. You're getting abused physically. It shuts you down and limits you. You can't say anything because you're scared something like you're going to get your ass whooped, or you're scared if you say or act a certain. It was like I was so constricted, but I wanted to just scream because I couldn't express myself. I couldn't say, hey, please stop hitting me. You're not supposed to be hitting me. She just hit me harder, And it wasn't just the abuse. It was the mental. behind it. The mental abuse in itself, like all the kids getting to go skating, and she'd tell me because I looked at her the wrong way, I couldn't go, and I better get my ass back there. I think I spent a majority of the time there laying down in her bed. She'd make me lay on her side and look at the wall. That was my punishment. So, like on my left side, I'd lay looking at the wall. She'd come in there and want me to apologize about something that I didn't even know what the fuck she was talking about, and spank me bare hand to ass just because. I don't know, because I wasn't apologizing or because I wasn't doing I don't know what I was doing wrong to this lady. There was nothing I could have done right. I was literally a defenseless fucking child. And thinking about it now, it doesn't like make me sad. It makes me angry. Like, it makes me mad. But I have so much respect for her kids, a couple of them. And I have so much respect for her grandkids because they're my family and I love them so much that I won't badmouth and talk her. Even though she deserves that from me, I won't do that. She don't deserve to turn me into a bitter person like she is. I think when people that are broken inside see somebody so full of light, I think sometimes them kind of people want to dim that light. And she did for a while dim mine, but it didn't stay dim forever. She would do certain things that would just, you don't, you're thinking, damn, that sounds so fucked up. Well, try living it. Like, around Christmas time, like, I remember one Christmas, everybody, including my brother, at least got something, and I didn't. And I remember that. And I remember she made a big deal to point out that I didn't get nothing. She was the person that was supposed to be taking care of me. I know she didn't sign up for it. And I know people are going to say, well, you were somebody else's kids. They should have done it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I'm sorry. If somebody left some kids to me and I knew I couldn't take care of them, I would do everything in my power to try to either put them somewhere else or something. I wouldn't just abuse them. Now, that's all I'll say on that. There's a lot more to the story, but I don't want to just dwell on that part of it. She knows what she did. Everybody knows how she is because it's a pattern that she does all the time to other kids. It wasn't just me. I think I would maybe been the start, you know? And all I can say is that the mental anguish that I went through in that home, anytime that she was around, it was not a good time for me. She would just belittle me so much that I remember laying in there on those dirty clothes and I would think, I just want her to die. Like, I hated her so much. And I'm sorry if that hurts people's feelings, but I was really young and I didn't know what I was thinking or saying. I just thought, I can't live like this no more. And I remember I was fed up. I think I got spanked over something. Something really stupid. So much so that I don't even remember it. And I want to let you know, when I say spanked, she beat my ass. It wasn't no spanking. She beat the shit out of me, okay? Each time. Smacked in the face, smacked in the mouth, smacked in the, backhand for no reason, just be sitting there. Like, I flinched a lot as a kid because I was getting my fucking ass fucked up. So, I was so tired of it. Like, I remember just wanting to die. I just remember laying there and I'd cry every night, wanting, just praying somebody would come save me. Like, I really thought that there was somebody out there that, like, saved people. Even as that young of a child, I wanted and needed to be saved. And nobody came. And it took me a very long time to realize that's not the case with life. You don't get saved. You save yourself. But I remember that next morning when I got up, I knew what was going to happen. I was like, I'm going to tell the school today. They had been asking me questions anyway, and I had been beating it under the bush and basically just, or beating around the bush, sorry. But I basically was just like, today's the day. I'm telling. I just remember being so happy because I thought, I'm going to tell them. They're going to just take me away. And maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to be in somebody else's house who's not hitting me or yelling at me or telling me I'm just worthless and ugly and all these things that she would say to me. I just wish that at that time I wanted to just get out of there, and I didn't know how to do it. I thought about running away, but I didn't know where the fuck I was going to go, And I get to school, and I remember it took me, my stomach was hurting so bad. And I walked up to the teacher and I said, "Can I talk to you?" She's like, "Yeah." So we stepped outside, and I said, "Can you please get me out of this house?" She hits on me, she yells at me, she screams me, she pinches me. She's just, I need to get out of here. I think she's going to kill me. And she was like, "We'll go down to the office. Come on." And I just let out such a breath. I mean, a long breath. And I was like, finally, somebody's listening to me, Somebody is really listening to me. So I'm sitting there, and I think that's the happiest I had been in so long, because I thought, good, I didn't even give a shit what happened to her. I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. And I'm sitting there, and I'm so happy, and I'm kicking my feet, and I'm thinking, somebody's gonna, I'm gonna be saved today. I don't have to go back there. I don't have to worry about it. I'm so happy. It was so short-lived, because I look up and here she comes, walking through the fucking door. And she looked me straight in my face, and she got down really close to me and said, "I'm going to beat your fucking ass when we get home." And I thought, how the fuck did she know? Of course, I'm a kid. I thought that she was like a psychic and can hear me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought that she was like somebody that could like hear me and didn't even know. No, the office called her, and she ended up manipulating the situation, saying that I made up lies about her, and thank you for calling, she'll come pick me up. So it made it look like I was a liar, and she fucked me up. She was not lying. She beat my motherfucking ass from the time we got in her car to the time we got back to her house. She beat my ass with a belt. She beat my ass bad. That I didn't even want to get up out of bed. And I remember laying down on my left side that day, looking at the wall like I did most days there. And I thought, I can't do this anymore. You know how you have like something bad happen in your life, and it feels like, oh God, am I going to get through this? That was my entire childhood. I didn't think I was ever going to get through it. Each day was just something fucking else. You know what I'm saying? Each day was something I felt like the whole world was against me. I did not feel no type of love. I didn't feel anything. When you're abused to the extent that I was abused by multiple people sexually, and physically and emotionally, I think at a certain point, it just doesn't phase you anymore. You know? And I want y'all to remember I was a little girl. This is not me being grown. This is me 5 or 6. And I had still so much left to go through. And, looking back at the life I had at that moment, with them, people, I try to look for the bright side and everything. And I think, I did go through a lot of abuse, but at least, I had my cousin there, and that made us stronger. So I might have lost a lot, being around her mother and the abuse that her mother did to me, but I gained a lot more. I gained a family. Because I'm not really close with a lot of family, Um, but my cousin and her husband and kids, they're my family. Her kids are like I feel like they're my kids. So I might have lost a lot, but I gained so much more. And I love the fact that she don't control me anymore. Or I used to, in my 20s, I used to be like, why don't you just love me? What did I do to you? She could never give me a straight answer because she never had one herself. When people are bitter and hateful inside, they will stay like that. Now, um, I'm just happy that I've gotten to a point to where I don't even care. I don't need their acceptance anymore. I don't need them to accept me because I accept myself. All my flaws and everything. But I know one thing, when I lay my head down at nighttime and I go to bed, that I have one of the purest fucking hearts out there, and nobody can take that away from me. Even through all the pain and suffering that I went through, even through all the abuse and everything, nobody that I've ever met could have a heart like mine and still be loving and still believe in love and still believe, you know, that things will get better. My entire childhood was abuse, was all this craziness and crazy stories and people. It just seems so unreal to happen to one person, you know? But when you have a volatile life like I did, I honestly think that's what paved the way for me to be who I am today. And it's fine. It took me a while to get to where I am, emotionally. And y'all will be along for the ride. Again, I don't want to shed a bad light or anybody to say anything about my aunt. If you know her or see her and you know the story, there's no sense of bringing it up. Um, it's in the past now, and I just needed to speak my truth about it. I was and very kind to her in this episode. I did not need to be, for the abuse that she endured to me and for everything that she did to me. I was kind at the end of the day, because I know other people wouldn't have been as kind as me. But you know what? I look at it like I've gained what I gained, which was a wonderful fucking family that love and support me. And it doesn't matter what I go through, they're there. They will always be there. So I'm just glad that, you know, somebody thought I was worth being loved. Nikki has loved me unconditionally for as long as I can remember. And her family, as in her kids, are the same way. Because they're my family. So I might have lost some innocence, but I gained so much more. And I'll leave today with this. Give your kids time to feel. As in, ask your kids how they're feeling today. Ask them, are you happy? Are you sad? Are you mad? And if they are, let them express that. Let them have their time. Let them say, hey, this makes me upset. Or hey, I don't feel good about this. Or hey, this is that. Because one thing is, when I was a child, I wasn't able to even express how I felt. Because I would get ridiculed or abused for speaking my mind. Let them speak their mind. Let them say what they need to say, even if it upsets you. I'm going to tell you something about kids. They tend to tell the truth straight out. And sometimes if a kid's telling you something, maybe you need to listen. I want to thank you guys for listening to me today, and hopefully I didn't upset too many people with this, which I thought I was really nice about it. But if not, I'm sorry, and just know that everything that I do and put out there, I want it to be a positive note now. I've had enough negative in my life that I want to spread positivity. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next week.